Hey guys, this is James, the non-professional, back with another episode of Draw, Draw, Draw. And today we're doing a very iconic scene in the very first Tobey Maguire Spider-Man movie, which is the upside down kiss. It's not a detail for detail version. You're not going to recognize it, specifically from that scene. It's just a recreation that I made up. In this scene, in the original scene, Mary Jane Watson was more of the forward one. She was the one that initiated all the kiss and everything. While Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man just sort of played the passive. In this scene, the Spider-Man character here is actually the one that is initiating the kiss here, and you get shy and sort of bashful Mary Jane, and I did that for a reason. Now, I know I talk a lot about roughs. Several videos I've talked about roughs because roughs are probably the most essential part of the drawing process. Now, is it the most aesthetically appealing part of the drawing? Is it the one that everyone is going to recognize or acknowledge or fawn over if it is something that is exceptional? No, absolutely not. It's going to be the end product, which are inks with colors on top of it. That's what people are going to see. But the beginning of your imagination starts in the roughs. Everything else is just an imitation. Everything else is just a copy. When you draw lines, which what we're in now, so keep your lines tight. But lines, they're just a copy of what was already created, the concept that was already created in roughs. Inks are just a copy of what was already created in roughs. Colors is just an enhancement of what was already created in roughs. Roughs are the most essential part of the drawing process because it's in roughs that you determine what you want the character to be doing, whether standing away from you, whether facing towards you, whether you see the camera up above them, whether they're sitting down, whether they're laying, even down to the most minute details, as in this picture here. I got to manipulate her expression simply because I know how to draw specific expressions. And I got to show her as the more passive one as opposed to the more forward one, which was in the original scene. Now, the concepts aren't. The characters themselves aren't mine, but the scene is mine. I'm able to take whatever character and I can have them do whatever is necessary in order to tell whatever story that I'm trying to tell, and that's why it's so important to understand the parts of the anatomy of a human being and understand specifically the details of the character that you're trying to draw and be able to draw that in any angle that you want. And that's why sectioning is so important. Why you're drawing these ovals and cylinders and you're drawing the fingers in separate sections and you're sectioning off the head like that because you need to know what everything, where everything is, the eyes, the nose, and the mouth, relative to where that person is facing or how that person is standing. And that's the reason why I did this drawing, because I wanted to show a very iconic scene recreated in how I want it to be recreated, not just copied as in me looking at a picture and copying it, detail for detail, or at least a comic book version of it, but I get to recreate the scene however I want to create the scene, as I did here. All right, so we are in inks now, and as you can see, it's just a carbon copy of what was already created. It is in roughs where your imagination can just sort of run with it. I like this scene in the original movie. It was endearing. I believe that there are certain things that I wanted in the scene that just wasn't there, and like, for example, the Spider-Man in this scene where he's reaching out his hand and just sort of, brushing back those errant strands of Titian hair, and she's anticipating, as you can see, something about to happen. And I don't mean to get all cheesy or corny on you, but again, I get to recreate that. And so I've found that your measure of skill as an artist is determined by how well you translate what's in your head to what's on the page. Let's take an inventor, for example. An inventor has a concept in his mind. He desires for a specific device to do a specific thing. Now, when he creates that device, how well that device does whatever it is that he intends to do will determine how good of an inventor he actually is. If it doesn't do what he wants it to do, then he's not that great an inventor. If it does exactly what he wants it to do, then he's an even more proficient inventor, more skilled inventor. I believe it is the same thing with art. Now, I'm not talking about the effectiveness of art. There are people who have very low skill levels with regards to art, yet the art they create is effective because the message is effective. But I'm talking about just pure skill level. If a person is able to recreate exactly what they see in their head, that is a very talented artist. Now, I don't know anybody. I can't see inside people's heads and how well they translate it to the page, but for me, there's a lot of things that I would correct in my art pieces that that it wasn't in my head. There are a lot of things that I wish was on the art piece that was in the concept in my head. It never perfectly translates. Now, is it getting closer and closer as I practice more and more? Absolutely, it does, and it will for you too, if you continue in the trade and you continue to practice and you continue to learn new things. So, anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope you learned some things. Always remember your 3 P's: persistence, patience, perseverance. That's how you mature in any endeavor. Hey guys, if you like my content, please like or comment below. And if you want regular updates, please subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching.